Yo, what's going on, guys? My name is Ismail from Fermento Solutions, which is a company that helps to grow and develop medical spas. Now that that's out the way, my ears been to the streets, and I've been hearing that medical spa owners and aesthetic clinic owners are just tired of the penny pincher clients, the one and dones, the people that come into their spas that have no money to spend on no treatment plans. They just want the Groupon discount, and that's it. So this video is for you guys. Okay, let's get into it. So, if you guys watched any of my videos before, then you're familiar that I'm all about the Med Spa Foundations, right? Which is responsible for successful med spas if you have it, and broke med spas if you don't have it, right? Now, today gonna be covering the Sales Foundation, right? Before we even get into sales, it's important for you to understand that a med spa clinic or an aesthetics clinic is not a necessary service, right? People don't need these things, right? If you're sick, you need to go to the doctor, right? If you broke your arm, then you need to go to the hospital. If you have a cavity and every time you eat food and you're in tremendous amount of pain, you need to go to the dentist. But if you have some acne scars or some pigmentation, you don't really need to see the the medical spa. You don't need to go there. You don't need to get your skin issues really fixed because it's not a necessary service that you need, right? And so it's very important for you to have a sales process, right? So that you can get more people coming through and wanting your services because it's not a need, it's a want, right? And so sales is broken down into three things: identifying the problem, right? Creating desire, and positioning yourself as the service that bridges the gap, right? So there's the problem, this is the desired outcome, the goal, and then you bridge your service as the gap between the two. Now, one thing to understand is that when there's a gap, right, between where you're currently at and where you want to go, this creates pain, right? And pain is the biggest thing. Pain is what causes people to take action on anything, right? For example, if I broke my arm, I'm in a lot of pain, so I'm going to go to the hospital. If I'm really sick and, you know, I have a big fever, then I'm going to go to the doctor's office. Some people, when they chip their teeth, right, they may be in some pain because when they smile, they look a little bit goofy. And so that hurts their self confidence. And so that's painful for them. And so they go to the dentist. For other people, they chip their teeth and they don't really care and they're not in that much pain. So they'll just go about their life with a chipped tooth, right? And this is the idea I'm trying to portray, is that it's very important for you to create pain in your prospects so that they can take action, right? If you understand their current problem and then you create desire for them, you understand where they want to go, their goal, this creates pain for the prospect, which causes them to take action. Okay, so how do we do that? We do that through our sales process. And for a medical spa, the sales process is broken down to three things, right? The pre appointment, the actual appointment, and the post appointment, right? It's not just when you pitch the treatment where that's your sales process. The sales process actually starts way before someone even comes into your medical spa. The first interaction is when the sales starts, right? This is the pre appointment. So, a lot of times, a lot of businesses, they outsource this stuff to other agencies or other businesses, right? Where they just want booked appointments and people to show up to their business, and so they outsource everything. And what these agencies essentially do is they generate a bunch of leads, and their sole purpose is just to get as many booked appointments on the calendar as they can. And so they're not really doing much work to bring you quality prospects, and there's not much of a sales process that's going on here. So the first thing to do, the first part of the sales process is qualifying leads, right? And you do this by asking them questions. Now, it's very important that you just don't jump out the gate just asking questions. You have to frame this in a specific way. The way I like to do it is I say, hey, a lot of people are booking this appointment, or spots for this treatment are getting filled up pretty quickly, and we just wanted to make sure that clients who really needed this treatment can get a spot. Is it okay if I ask you some questions? And then they say, okay. Some questions I like to ask are you currently looking to improve the health or appearance of your skin? And they'll say, yep. I mean, everyone is essentially. And then you ask, okay, awesome. I guess what specifically are you looking to accomplish? And then they'll tell you a couple things, right? Fine lines, pigmentation, acne scars, the basic few, right? And then you say, awesome. I guess what have you tried in the past before? And sometimes people haven't tried anything. Sometimes they'll tell you some things that they've tried. Essentially, you just want to kind of get a feel for essentially what you're trying to do is getting them to qualify themselves to you, right? For the most part, if they're answering these questions, they're starting to build some desire for your treatment. They talked about some problems. They talked about that they want to solve something, and they've talked about things that they've tried in the past, which contributes to the pain because they tried something and it didn't result in their goal, which is why they're on the phone with you. Okay? And they say, awesome, well, it sounds like you're a good fit for what we do. Is it okay if I give you some more information? And they'll say, yeah. Then you say, awesome, like, so the first thing is that you'll come in for this treatment, blah, blah, blah. We do a skin analysis to make sure that this is the right treatment for you. In the case that it's not, we'll recommend something else that's within your budget. Sounds like you're just wanting to, get started on your skincare journey. Does that kind of make sense? Yeah, it does. Okay, awesome. When would you like to come in? And this is where you book the appointment. Okay. Now, the cool thing. Now, a big step that a lot of people miss out on is the appointment reminders. Right? Don't just send the regular 24-hour, 4-hour, and 1-hour appointment reminders. Drop some value in there. And what does value look like? It's like giving them getting them more excited for their treatment. So maybe a little bit of a website that you create. It's called a landing page. It has before and afters. It has before and after pictures of the treatment. It has maybe a video of the treatment, maybe a video tour of your place, some Google reviews, some frequently asked questions and answers, right? Just some things to get them excited about their treatment and give them more clarity and more peace of mind about showing up for their appointment. Just doing these things, qualifying leads, creating the appointment reminders is going to increase your show up rate. You're going to get more people coming through your place just for that. Now, the big part of the sale is the actual appointment. Right? Now, one of the most important things is the first impressions, right? This is where people really start to just make assumptions about your place. Is it clean? Does it look good? Does it smell good? How are the people greeting you? All of these things play a role in someone's subconscious, right? On how they're going to categorize you. Is this a sketchy place that I want to trust, my skin with? Or is this a more comforting, inviting place that I wouldn't mind investing some money to, achieve my skincare goals with, right? So the first impressions are very important. The first thing you want to do is greet your client, right? With a smiling face, being very welcoming, very nice, bubbly. These things are very important. Now, a big issue is that a lot of med spa owners are doctors or they're registered nurses or they come from that medical history or that medical field, right? And when you're from a hospital or walk-in clinic or doctor's clinic, a lot of times you can get away with very garbage customer service because your services are necessary, right? I would deal with a bad, receptionist because I have to go see the doctor, right? But if I don't have to see you, then I'm not going to deal with that for the most part. I may come one time and then never come again, right? So it's very important that your front desk, your receptionists are very friendly, they're very welcoming, and they give off a good and comfortable vibe. The next thing is treats. I mean, this is a big, who's really giving out treats out here? Maybe it's a bottled water, coconut water, cookie, cupcake, whatever it is, just offer something, right? These small things is what differentiates you from everyone else in the market. Now, the consultation is the biggest part of the sale, right? If you're not doing a consultation for your first-time clients, you're messing up big time, right? This should be mandatory. Everyone that comes into your place for the first time needs to get the consultation, right? And it at least needs to be 30 or 45 minutes. If it's shorter than that, I don't know what to tell you. You don't have a good process. It should take some time with the client. You should build rapport. You should really understand them, right? You need to understand your client, right? And the way you do that is you ask about their problems, right? What are you trying to accomplish? Take a look at their skin. What is it that you don't like? What are some things that you want to improve? What have you tried in the past? What are you currently doing? What's your skincare routine like? Right? You need to be asking all these questions, because the more questions you ask, the more information you get. The more information you get, the more you can leverage for the future. Okay? Once you understand, and this is all predicated on how good you do your job, right? The better you do your job, the more questions you're going to have, right? And the more information you will be looking for. Once you get all that, then you can educate your client, right? Show them why their skin is in the place where it's at right now. Maybe it's their work environment, maybe it's their current skincare routine, maybe it's possibly some genetic that has to do with it, maybe it's the acne that they had as a teenager. Essentially, you want to help them to understand why they're at where they're at, what they've tried in the past hasn't worked, and what they're trying isn't working either, right? Then you want to give them some education on how to improve that, right? Tell them that, listen, for your skin to improve, we need to increase the collagen production so that your acne scars can heal, etc., right? You want to give them more of the what needs to happen without really telling them how it's going to happen, if that makes sense, right? The next thing you do is you do your testimonials. This is where you show them before and after pictures of someone that's exactly like them. That's why it's important to have, you know, a lot of before and after pictures of a variety of clients, right? Different skin types, different skin colors, different skincare issues, right? And that did different treatment plans. And this is where you can show them people that exactly are like them, right? Essentially, you want to show the person themselves and how they were in the same position as them and that they were able to achieve the results that they're looking for. Once you do that, you can start putting together unique treatment plans for the client, right? I would put together 3 personalized treatment plans, right? The first treatment plan is going to be the shortest amount of time it takes to achieve the results, and this is going to be your most expensive. The second option is going to be the most important thing that they should try to get, right? The biggest bang for their buck, right? And this is going to be your middle price point. And then the cheapest option is going to be, it takes the longest amount of time to achieve the result, but it's the cheapest as well, right? So you will have these 3 different treatment plans and make them creative. Don't just be like, yeah, our first option is 6 microneedling sessions, and then the second option is like, just like 3 or 4 facials or something like that. Put together unique personalized treatment plans, that someone can get excited about. You can say, yeah, first we're going to do the microneedling, then we're going to do the dermabrasion, then we're going to do this treatment, and you're going to get this result, right? Another, also, I forgot to mention for the show and tell, when you do the before and afters, you should have 3 pictures. Oh, I forgot to put number 2. 3 pictures. 1 before, 1 during, and 1 after. Okay, so the before pictures when they first started, right, before they came in, what their skin looked like before they started the treatment. The second one is during the treatment plan. Maybe 1 or 2 or 3 treatments in, you take another picture, right? And then the third one is after their whole treatment plan was completed. This way they can physically see the process, right, and the progress of how their skin actually transformed, and they can start getting a more reasonable expectation, if that makes sense, right? Back to the treatment plans, be unique with them. Put together some interesting things for your clients, right? And then you want to soft pitch them. And what the soft pitch is not, you're not asking them which one they want to buy right away. You can ask them, so which one out of these 3 are you leaning towards? Which one is more interesting to you? Which one's standing out to you, right? To kind of gauge where they're at. You want to gauge where they're at with this question. And maybe they'll say, you know what, I really like this option. Be like, oh, okay, I guess why do you like this option more? And maybe they'll tell you, I like this option because, it helps me reach my goals, but it's not very expensive, right? And this way you can start to understand what objections you might get when it's time to actually sell the treatment. If someone mentions something about price, then you know that price may be a big objection when it's time to close the appointment. Maybe they say something like, Yeah, I like number one the most, but I like number three more because number one uses laser, and I'm not sure I really, I feel comfortable with laser, right? That's another possible objection that could come up, and then you could address that when it's time to actually close the client, right? And you could start thinking about how you can handle these objections. Maybe it's payment plans, maybe it's buy now, pay later, maybe it's a discount to push them over the edge, right? So essentially, you soft pitch them, you gauge where they're at, and you can kind of understand how close they are to buying at this point. Now, the treatment is another important aspect of the sales process. Over here, you really have to kill it for your client. Do a great job, right? Make sure they're feeling good, make sure they're feeling comfortable. It should it should feel relaxing for them, etc., etc., right? Over here, I would even consider doing some add-ons. So if they came in for a facial, maybe you could offer something like, "Hey, I noticed your skin is a little dry over here. Maybe we could add this, serum to increase, the hydration of your skin." Something like that. It's only an extra $15. Is that something you'd like to try out? If they say no, you don't want to be pushy, be like, "Okay, no problem. Maybe we can do that next time." But this is just another way for you to collect some more cash, right? Just doing add-ons over here specific to the customer. While you're doing the treatment, build a relationship with them, educate them, tell them what you're doing. Be like, "Hey, right now I'm doing this. I'm applying this serum and it's helping with, this X, Y, and Z," right? Ask about them. Be like, "Hey, so currently, I guess, what are you doing for work right now?" Start to build some rapport, build relationship with them, make a deep connection with them, right? The deeper the connection goes, the more likely they are to come back with you and stay with you, right? For example, for me, I mean, I've been going to the same barber for 6 years. Even if he increases his price or he changes his location, I'll still go to him because we have that personal connection. And it's the same thing with your clients. If they have that personal connection with you, they'll spend more money with you. They'll follow you to the end of the earth, right? So it's important to build that relationship. Do a great job over here. Now, this is very crucial as well. The post treatment, right? After they're done their treatment and before you check them out, you sit them down and you have a conversation with them. And the conversation is you essentially giving them some skincare tips. And this is where you can actually close the sale. So you give them some skincare tips, be like, "Hey, from what you told me about your current skincare regimen, these are some things that I recommend that you change. Maybe you cleanse twice a day, exfoliate, once a week. You should add that into your skincare routine and use this moisturizer XYZ." And this is where you can bust out the retail products. I would recommend just taking out three retail products that are different, maybe one moisturizer, one cleanser, one exfoliator, and you could show that, "Hey, I would recommend you use this because XYZ. These are the ingredients. I really like that. I use it myself." And yeah, this is where you could, bring out your retail products. This is a great time because now the customer, you built all this rapport, you did a great treatment, you showed that you're very knowledgeable, and so they'll trust your judgment if you're recommending these different retail products. Now you can revisit the treatment plans, right, that you created over here. Where over here, right? You revisit the treatment plans and you say, "Okay, which one? You said you mentioned that you were leaning more towards this one. I mean, would you do you wanna make it happen? Should we make it happen?" Now you're most likely gonna get some objections, right? "Oh, maybe now's not the right time. It's a little bit expensive. Da 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 da." And what you can do is you can sweeten the deal. Maybe you can throw in some retail products in there. Maybe you can give them a discount if they purchase today. That you give them a little bit of a discount just to sweeten the deal, right? If money is still a big issue, maybe you can offer a payment plan, right? Maybe they're scared about the specific treatment, right? So you can handle it. Be like, "You know what? I understand you're afraid about laser, but to be honest, there's not much downtime when you do get this treatment, etc., etc." You can handle the objections on what they on the objections that they kind of bring up. Okay. Now we talked about handling the objections. We talked about giving them payment options. But if they're really adamant on not buying, then don't be too pushy, right? You don't want to keep pushing it. You just want to sweeten the deal for them to get them over the edge. Maybe throw a retail product in, but don't be too pushy over here, right? Because you can always get them back. But once you come off as too salesy and you want to push for the close, you could push them away all the way. Okay. Now at the checkout, this is the final step of during the appointment. Get some Google reviews before they go. Maybe you give them a 5% discount if they give you a 5-star Google review right on the spot. Easy way to collect some Google reviews. If they didn't buy anything and maybe they just came in for a facial, I would pitch a membership. Be like, hey, we can give you a 10% discount if you sign up for a membership right now. And just you could have a basic membership. Maybe it's a 1 or 2 free facials every month, right? Easy way to collect recurring revenue. If they bought a treatment and they bought a retail product, I wouldn't push the membership, right? If they bought the treatment plan, pitch the membership after the treatment plan. You don't want to overwhelm the customer with constantly trying to sell, right? So be very wary about this, right? Because you did the add-ons, you did the retail products, you did the treatment plans, now you're doing the memberships. So I'm just giving you all the strategies, but be smart about it. Don't be too salesy. Now, another important thing that a lot of people forget is the post-appointment, right? The post-appointment follow-up. This is very important. A couple of days later, maybe 2-3 days later, give your prospect a call. Give your client a call. Ask them how they were doing. Ask them how the recovery is going. Ask them if they like the results that they seen. Ask them if they had any questions about the skincare tips that you gave them. Maybe revisit the treatment plan again, right? Again, you don't want to be too pushy. Maybe you could say something like, hey, I know that last time you're leaning towards, the third treatment plan that we talked about. Is that something that you still want to explore? If not, if they say no, then be like, no problem. I just want to reach out, since you were interested and wanted to even offer you a 10% discount on that. Maybe offer the discount to them again. If not, that's okay. All good. No worries. After that, maybe follow up with them a couple weeks later, 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later with another promo. Now, this promo is going to be personalized to the client, right? This is going to be something that they need to help them start their skincare journey, like a specific treatment that's going to help them continue on their skincare journey and reach their goal, right? And you got this information because you did a really good consultation and you understand what their goals and needs are, and you can offer a treatment that's, not too expensive, that can, slowly get them back into your med spa again and again. Okay? Now, I hope all of that made sense, right? It was a lot to cover, but the sales process is broken down into those 3 steps: pre-appointment, during the appointment, and post-appointment. If you want to see how we're implementing our sales systems into our clients' businesses to make it more efficient, more smooth, go ahead and click the link in the description. Okay? Thanks for your time, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day.